I want to thank everybody for what they do. Look who's here. So, this next amazing woman next to me on the left or right, depending how you're looking on your screen, um, she's not only really looking at our leadership program and the Leadership Academy with the Los Angeles Tribune, but she ran a panel yesterday and has done so much for us that I'm just going to let her roll. That's what we call. I'm going to put her in what's called the power position. So now you're in the power position. Watch this. Now you're really in the power position. And I'm going to put you on the main screen. If you need me, I'm here the whole time, just in the background. But you have really brought so much to the Tribune, so much to what we're doing, so much to the energy out there. And you are one of the first people that ever joined me when I started down this path. And I will never forget that. And I honor that. And I give it up to Kris Ashley.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I just have so much gratitude for you, for the trust and support. Amazing gratitude for everyone at the Los Angeles Tribune, our incredible team, all of these amazing speakers I've been listening to, fellow podcasters, trainers. So it is just such an honor, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I'm Kris Ashley. I'm the co-director of the Los Angeles Tribune Leadership Academy. And today I'm going to talk to you about my 4-step framework to stepping into your highest leadership potential. Really quick, before I get started, type yes in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure the chat's working. I want to make sure my microphone's working. And this is going to be a really interactive session. So I'm going to ask you questions along the way. And one of the best ways for you to learn and retain information is to stay engaged in the chat. Now, you are going to leave with a step-by-step framework to stepping into your highest leadership potential, and you can apply this to your career, but you can also apply it to your relationships, your health, your personal development, because it's universal. So type yes in the chat if that sounds good to you. All right, I'm going to have you start by closing your eyes. So really quick, just feel your sit bones in your chair. Allow your shoulders to rinse away from your ears, heavy your eyelids shut. And I want you to imagine that you are the leader that you want to be. You're the picture of health, love, joy, and peace. You are passionate about your work, and you have a paycheck that makes you feel comfortable and secure. You're hitting all your personal and professional milestones that are important to you. You are surrounded by people who cheer you on, love you, respect your opinion, and truly want the best for you. You are at peace. You've released any limiting beliefs that were holding you back. And anytime a challenge comes your way, you know exactly what to do to handle it with grace and ease so that it ends up helping you out in the long run. Life is good. All right, go ahead and flutter your eyes back open. And I want you to ask yourself, does that sound like my life right now? And if it does, that's amazing. I am so, so happy for you. That's what I want for everyone. But if it doesn't, is there a little voice in the back of your head right now saying, no one can achieve all that, especially not me? Or maybe your mind immediately jumps to ways that you are lacking, not worthy, or even suffering. If you relate to any of that, type yes in the chat. And by the way, the chat is a safe space, okay? What happens in the chat stays in the chat. So if this doesn't sound like your current life or you're thinking any of these thoughts, don't worry, you are not alone. Psychologists estimate that 70 to 90% of people's thoughts are negative and repetitive. Now, here's the way out. Leadership is an inner game. Okay, leadership isn't about commanding others. It's about commanding your own mind, actions, and emotions first, right? It's about cultivating the mindset and energy that then magnetize all of that success that you want. Now, great leaders imagine a future that doesn't even exist yet, and then they step confidently towards it. And if you're struggling to believe in the vision that you just had, know that leadership starts with daring to have that dream anyway. Now, we live in an intelligent universe, right? Quantum physics even backs this up. It says that every possible future state exists out there in this state of potential, every possible reality, just waiting for you to choose it. Now, leadership is about choosing that future and then boldly stepping towards it. Now, this has proven true time and time again throughout my life, and I believe it so deeply in my core. But I didn't used to think this way. So when I was 12, I went through trauma that severely impacted my life for many years. I was sexually abused at the hands of a family member for 4 years. And when my big Italian, tight-knit, extended family found out about it, many of them disowned me. It left me with severe PTSD. I don't know if you tuned into Parisa and Joseph the other day talking about PTSD. It's real. It left me with zero confidence. Type yes in the chat if you've ever gone through something that has left you with a lot of emotional turmoil. And thank you so much for your vulnerability and sharing. Like, it left me with a lot of low vibration emotions like guilt and anger and shame that I didn't know how to cope with. Type yes in the chat if you've ever had low vibration emotions. Probably everyone. So here's when the shift happened for me. In 2002, someone handed me a book that changed my way of thinking and being and moving through life. And I remember flipping through the pages and just feeling like this sleeper agent, right? Like something inside of me woke up. Type yes if you've ever come across some new knowledge or teaching that totally expanded your worldview. Maybe that's happening in real time as you're listening to all these amazing speakers here. So for me, I was forever changed. And when I finished it, I started reaching for more. And I was just, became insatiable. I was devouring every metaphysical, spiritual, new age, personal development book I could get my hands on. I was attending retreats, finding teachers to study under, doing all these healing modalities. And my life became one big quest to learn, grow, heal, expand every aspect of myself. But as I changed my mind and started to get better, my mother started to get worse. You know, her family had been ripped down the seams, and it manifested as physical illness. She was battling serious illness. She had weird symptoms. She had this increasing dependence on medication. And for nearly 15 years, I watched helplessly as she slipped deeper into depression and illness. But in the end, I realized it was my mother who had inadvertently become my biggest teacher. Have you ever had someone you realized was your teacher later on? You're like, oh, that's what was going on. Type yes in the chat if you've ever had a person like that in your life. So for every step she took deeper into depression and illness and victimization, I climbed in the other direction out of that proverbial tunnel because I saw firsthand what happens to a human body and spirit when they go down that path. And then I saw what was happening to my own body and spirit when I changed my mind. And I'm happy to report I am confident in my life, in myself. I love my life. But perhaps most importantly, I move confidently through life, knowing that I can design and create the life that I want. Now, I share all of this not to brag, but in the hopes that you can see a possibility to rise out of your own ashes and know that you don't have to be your past. So after 2 decades of study, I realized it was time to share what I'd learned.